Hello, welcome to our Chapter 2 study guide. Alright, so most of the problems are worked out, so I'm going to just explain them and maybe add a little bit to them. Okay, so first question, what's the next pattern? So we're actually multiplying by 3, but there's a negative, so you're multiplying by a negative 3 each time. So next one's negative 81. This would be a great example of inductive reasoning, basically reasoning based upon observing a pattern. Number 2, a counterexample that shows the following statement is false. If B is between A and C, then AB will equal BC. So that basically is implying that B has to be in the middle. So my counterexample is B is clearly not in the middle, so AB does not equal BC. So that would be a counterexample. Number 3, the law of syllogism is right here, P then Q. If Q then R, then P then R. So we're using Q right here to connect P to R. Number 4, this is using deductive reasoning, using statements or facts to come up with a conclusion. It says Jennifer sings alto in the choir. There's 4 parts. The female voices are soprano and alto. So the female parts are alto. The male voice parts are tenor and bass. What's the conjecture can you make? Okay, so what conclusion can we make from here? Jennifer sings a female voice part in the choir. So female voice part would be alto. And she sings alto, so that works. There are no tenors. Doesn't say anything about that. Alto's the most important. Doesn't say anything about being the most important. Jennifer will sing all 4 parts. Nope, she just sings alto. So just A. All right, conditional and hypothesis and all that good stuff. So I'm going to use yellow and pink. So the conditional would be if you drive, then you're 16 or older. Okay. So the hypothesis is the first part drive. The second part is the conclusion. So the converse is to flip them. So if you're 16, then you're a driver. Okay, so notice that we were originally like this, and then we cross them. Okay, a little hard to see, sorry about that. Next it says write the inverse, so we keep the same pattern. If driver, but this time we're going to add the word not, then not 16 or older. So we don't change the pattern. And then the last one, we change the pattern and add not. Okay. So if you can, remember your hand signals for this. I'll just demonstrate them here real quick by zooming out as far as we can. So conditional, if then. Converse, you flip the conditional and the hypothesis. And then for inverse, you're just going to negate. Okay, so that means not the hypothesis and not the conclusion. And then last but not least, contrapositive takes the conditional, flips them, and negates them. Okay? And then you can put your face in there. Okay? Back to it. Alright, so the truth values. First of all, if you're a driver, then you're 16 or older. That's actually true in California. So the conditional is true. If you're 16 or older, then you are a driver. That's actually false. Some people don't get their license right away. Some people, like people in big cities, might never get their license because they don't need one, because they're never going to own a car. Right? The inverse, if you're not a driver, then you're not 16 or older. That's false for the same reason. And then contrapositive, if you're not 16, then you're not a driver. That's true. Or if you're not 16 or over, that's true because you can't drive until you're 16 or over. So the counterexample is you might drive at 18 years old for the converse. Okay. Number 6, we have angle 1 and angle 3. So angle 1 and angle 3 are vertical angles. And if they're vertical angles, that means they're congruent. So we're just going to literally set them equal to each other. 2x minus 5 is equal to 4x minus 45. We solve and get x equals 20. And then I plugged it back in up here, and we get 35 degrees for angle 1. So angle 2, angle 1 and 2 are a linear pair, so we add them up to 180. So 35, that means the other angle would be 145 for angle 2. And then the next one, we have angles 2 and 3. 2 and 3 are a linear pair, so we're going to add them up, set equal to 180. We get about 18.1. And then I plugged it back into angle 3, so we got 5.8x plus 10.2. I put in 18.1, and I got about 115.4, and so angle 1 is about 115.4. There's a little bit of rounding here, so you might slightly get a different number than me. You might got 15.2 2 or 15.9, or maybe even 116 or 114, depending upon how you round it. Okay? Numbers 8 through, can't fit them all. Let's go with there. Okay, so first one's transitive property because we do have LN connecting our two. The next one, we're just substituting the B out and putting in C. Okay, so the B is getting substituted with the C, so that's substitution property. Reflexive property, they look in the mirror and they see themselves. Here we're multiplying both sides by 8. This is symmetric. It's the same thing written, just in reverse order, so that's symmetric property. Here we're just multiplying the 3 through, so that's distributive property. P is the midpoint. That is just the definition of the midpoint. This one right here, same thing, definition of angle bisector. If it's a right angle, then it's 90 degrees. That's definition of a right angle, so a lot of definitions we can use. If two lines are perpendicular, then they form right angles. That's definition of perpendicular lines. That's just what a perpendicular line is. 1 and 2 are complementary, then they add up. That's definition of complementary. 1 and 2 are supplementary, 1 and 3 are supplementary, so 2 equals 3, so that's actually substitution. We're just subbing those in for each other. Okay? All right, on the back, we have law of detachment, law of syllogism. So if it's a beach town, then you're busy during the summer. San Clemente is a beach town. Well, the P values match, so this is law of detachment, LOD, law of detachment, so San Clemente is busy during the summer. Here we have, if you're grumpy, you're not fun to be around. If you're grumpy, then you don't have a lot of friends. So this is PQPR. That doesn't follow my format correctly, so there's no conclusion. This does not follow law of syllogism or detachment. If you're a puppy, you love to chew furniture. Lucky loves to chew furniture. Okay, well, the pink here, this matches the conclusion, not the hypothesis. So I can't assume Lucky's a puppy. Lucky could be a baby, or it could be a, I don't know, something that chews on. It could be a pig. We don't know. No conclusion. If you run a marathon, then you will be tired. If you're tired, then you need sleep. This does follow my law of syllogism, LOS, PQ, QR, so that means we can connect the P and the R, the yellow and the green. So if you run a marathon, then you're going to need a lot of sleep. All right, angle, angle, angle. All right, angle 1 is 38, and then 6 is equal to 7. So the first thing I did was I started with angle 1, and I realized that angle 1 is vertical to angle 5, so those were congruent of 38 and 38. And then it said 5 and 6 are complementary. So I looked at 5 and 6 right here, 38, and that's 52, so these have to add up to 90. And then since 7 and 6 are the same, that's also 52. I took care of my vertical angles that way, and then that has to be 38 too, and those are vertical that way. So everything's 38s and 52s. On the back, our proof. So this is an algebraic proof, so we don't have to really do a whole lot of groundwork before we start anything. We just kind of jump in. So first step here, I multiply both sides by 5. That's multiplication property. I add 3 on both sides. That's addition property. And divide by 8, division property. All right, this one we have to write some stuff in. First of all, it's a bisector, so the yellow and pink angle are congruent. And we want to show that x equals 9. So I also put that CAD is the green angle. We have the yellow and the pink angle. Then I went ahead and highlighted all the things that were the same. So the first thing, AB is bisector of CAD, given. Okay, so CAB is equal to BAD. That's just the definition of a bisector. Then it goes from congruency to, I think that's supposed to be equality, but they didn't put an equal sign there. So that's just their mistake. So that's supposed to be an equal sign, not an equality sign. And then once we have equality, we can go ahead and substitute the values. So CAB is the 7x plus 2, and BAD is 5 times x plus 4. Then we use distributive property, and then they subtracted the 5x and the 2 at the same time to give you 2x equals 18, then divide by 9. And then number 27 is kind of a fun one. Find the measure of angle A. It's half as large as its supplement, so A is half as large as this. Supplement means they add to 180, so we get 60 and 120. Okay? Good luck. May the math be with you. That was probably the nerdiest thing I've ever said in my life. I mean, I don't know if it's the nerdiest thing in my life. But anyways, that's all. Nothing left in this video, so please don't keep watching.